Why, hello everyone, and welcome to an Oranos build order guide. Oranos is kind of my main go-to god for Age of Mythology, and I thought I'd go over my particular favorites build orders with you. Going from everything from a super fast build order to a bit more of a slower one. So for this particular one at the start, it's going to be a 6-citizen, really fast age-up build order. I'm not going to focus too much on anything past the important details of how to get this timing off, how to pull it off, that sort of thing. And instead, mostly just focus on this build order so you guys can practice it yourself and go from there. So the first things you'll want to know for this build order are, and for all these build orders actually, is first 2 citizens will always go onto your hunt, whereas your 3rd citizen will go onto gold. That's going to be the same for all of these build orders, nice and simple. Keeps it really easy, and while you are training these up, your oracles need to be moving out onto the map, scouting the area, seeing what's around, getting that favor income. For your 4th citizen, it will also go into gold for this 6-citizen build-up, because we want to get that 150 gold really quickly for that temple. We are not going to be building a house or manor for this one. There's no need to, since we are going to be hitting exactly on the pop cap with those 6 citizens, so no need to worry about a manor for this one. Here we go, getting close, and we're going to pop the temple down. One will start building, whereas the other will head over straight to food. At this point, you'll have 4 be almost about to finish your 5th citizen. There's the 5th. And then 6th, as soon as this one is done with the temple, it's going to go straight on to the food as well. I'd advise getting another giraffe down early, just so you don't have to worry about them your citizens pausing to kill the hunt on their way. So now you got all 5 on there. 6 will come in here. You may need to stop the auto gathering for this. It sometimes can work depending on where the hunt is in relation to the gold. Sometimes you don't have to pause, but in any case, you shouldn't have to pause for too long. And you hit the Oranos age up, requeue this one up, and we started age up at like 208. So yeah, really fast, 6-citizen age up. And from here, you can split these out into wood, gold, or food. The main reason you'd want to use such a really fast age up is for something like, say, if you're Kronos who really wants to get a super fast time shift of his temple onto the enemy base, or if you really want to go for in the case of Oranos, you'd want to be building sky passages in your base and at the forward location just to really harass super early, get a ton of damage on. But yeah, that is the 6-citizen Oranos build order. And we'll move on to the next one, 7-citizen. Let's do a restart. Alright, this is going to be a 7-citizen age up. This is more of a typical standard sort of build order. It's still a little bit on the faster side. Age up at 2 minutes 30. It's not quite as blazingly fast as the 6-citizen, but it is still a fairly fast one. Same as before, 2 onto hunt, 1 onto gold. Now, this is where it diverges a bit from the 6-citizen build order, where with this 3rd citizen, we're going to want to build a manor before it hits the gold, just because we're going to get a little bit beyond the pop cap. And then your 4th citizen, we're going to queue onto wood. Usually you want to get this one onto wood close to the hunt, just so you can get that hunt going a bit more quickly, just then get that 400 food out there. As soon as the manor's done, onto the gold. Make sure as well that you're going out with your scouts, with your oracles, getting as much info and favor as you can. That's kind of crucial for Atlanteans and Oranos especially. He kind of relies on that favor income to ensure he can keep using Shockwave and the like. Alright, got 4 citizens out. Your 5th and forward will continue on to food. Everything from here on out goes to food. Alright. So now this is where a little bit of the nuance with Atlantean build orders come in that you need wood in order to progress, to keep recruiting citizens. So you have to be a little bit careful not to get too much nor too little. Right now we have 5 citizens, the 6th is in queue, so we need 165. As soon as that hits, we go straight onto food. So you have now 165. That's enough wood for the temple, plus 1 more citizen, which is what we want. Alright, getting these out there. Alright, so next key thing you're looking for is when this hits 150. When this hits 150, you need to move your citizen over to this side to get this going. Because we started this temple a little bit before the 7th citizen came out, we'll need to pull one more back to get the temple up a little bit faster. Because these take 30 seconds, and the temple also takes 30 seconds to be able to build from base. We should still have the needed 400 food, and just like that, we get to age up at 2 minutes 30 seconds. And you can move on from there. This does have a little bit more than a few more citizens than the 6th citizen build order, plus you don't have to build that extra manor. So you have a bit more options out there. Generally, this is like a typical fast build order. Nothing too crazy, it's just the typical fast build order for Oranos if you want to do some early aggression. And this is what you want to go for on average. You can still do the 6, the 6 is still pretty good, but it's not the most necessary for most matchups nowadays, but alright, that's the 7th, so we can move on to the 8th citizen build order. Alright, this 8th citizen build order is where things get a little more flexible in terms of timing and everything else, because you don't need to be quite as fast and tight with your timings. You don't have to worry as much about quickly getting citizens from one place to another. It's still useful to do, and going through the town center, etc. is always a good trick to use. You also will not have to worry about your citizen on the gold doing anything there. So it's just a nice little build order, very typical, very flexible. It's a very useful one if you're not quite sure what you want to do yet. Thankfully, all of these build orders, besides the 6th, are very useful and nice in that they don't require you to dedicate to them until like 1 minute 30. And if you're unsure what your opponent is doing, or you're not sure what you want to do, you can send oracles out, send them a bit closer to the enemy base right away, just to get an idea of what they're going for, and that can help you quite a bit to be able to decide what you want. And you can flex to basically any of the build orders from 6 to 7 to 8, etc. Another nice thing about these build orders is that the manor can be built at any stage along the line, basically. You don't have to worry too much about exactly when you build it for these not as fast build orders, like for 8 and above. So yeah, this is a pretty simple one. Again, you want to be making sure you get the exact amount of wood that you need. You need 150, plus right now we have 6, we'll need 30 more because we need 2 more for 8, so we'll want to get 190 wood total. That is the goal for this particular build order, 190 wood at this stage. Keep an eye. You remember that when you do age up, not 190, 180. So at this point we have the needed wood, and we can move over to food, and gold will be the next thing that is the crucial number. Soon we'll be able to get that 150. There it goes, and we'll be done in terms of gold, and all that's left is the food. And we should be able to get that pretty quickly, with 5, soon to be 6 citizens on here. You can use your town center to quickly down a zebra or help kill the hunt a bit more quickly, as it can do a bit more damage. It just helps out a little bit. Other things to keep in mind when you're going through this is that you'll want to make sure that you get any kind of herdables you see in the area back to your base, etc. Like even now we could go for the 7, but for this we're just going to go for the 8 for a 3-minute age up. Quite useful. This is the typical. You can try to sneak in like a economic upgrade here and there. Sometimes with this build order, it's a little bit trickier to do, just because it requires a little bit more nuance. If you're going for more of an economic build, especially with Oranos, it's better to go for the 9 citizen build order, which I will demonstrate next. But yeah, this was the 8 citizen build order, and let's move on to the 9. Alright, 9 citizens. This one's going to is very similar to the 8, however, it focuses a little bit more on economy. In this case, we're going to be getting a economic guild up and getting some upgrades out right away. You can go for either or. You can go for either upgrade or even both upgrades if you really want to, depending on what you want to go for. If you want to go for more of a heavy eco 2-town center build, then going for both the pickaxe and the hand axe would be the way to go. So for this, you'll want to get the mill out first, and then on to gold, and then you'll have your fourth citizen build the manor rather than your gold citizen. As soon as it's up, grab either or both the hand axe and this one. Because you're getting the upgrades, you'll need to get a little bit more wood for that manor, because you have to make sure you keep your enough citizens on wood and food to keep citizen production going. In this case, because we went for both, you'll want to have 2 citizens onto wood, so you can get just enough for that extra bit of wood for that manor. That's the key thing with this build order, is that because you're getting those economic upgrades right away, it's a little bit trickier to get that manor up. Alright, but it isn't too terrible. By the time your second citizen for wood comes out, you'll have plenty. You should have plenty before the third. Oops, bit of a mismicro there on my part. Meant to put the town center onto the hunt. After your 5th citizen, every other citizen will go onto the food. At this point, we have enough. We can drop our manor. And then it's just a matter of getting up to 150 wood, 150 gold, and that 400 food. We're going to need 9 citizens in total, so keep that in mind with your wood number. You need 150 plus however many more citizens you want to build for your build order. That's the key thing. Alright, manor's up. We are able to continue citizen production unabated. The reason why you'd want to do this sort of build order over a faster one is if you really want to go for a second town center, or if you want to go for a heavy timing attack. I personally like to go for the heavy timing attack and just do the pickaxe, because with Oranos, he generally works best when with a lot of infantry and not quite as many archers and the like. Oh, 150 gold, that's the key thing to move straight over to food from there. The closer you can get to this exact number of 150 on average, the better your build order will perform for you. Alright, we have 7, 8, and that's 9. So we have 171. A little bit too much, but it's not too terrible, because we have 8 and 9 is in queue, and now we just need to build that temple. Again, we started the temple. When you start the temple a little bit early, you just need to get it onto... You just need to have 2 on there instead of 1, just so it gets up before the citizen comes out. We should be able to get it up without any trouble and get that 400 food we need to age up at 3 minutes and 30 seconds for a completed age time of 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And there we go. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. And yeah. Again, for this is very much an economic-centric build. It can also be an aggressive build if you want to go for a timing attack in terms of having heavy Murmillo raids and have heavy attacks with Murmillo. Not as super early, but just for that bit more of an oomph damage. I personally like to use this for getting 2 Caladria out with Oceanus and getting it like 4, 6, 8 Murmillo out with a double. This would be like a double military barracks build. Because usually with like a 7 or an 8 citizen build, you kind of get quite as many military barracks out for that steady production. But with this one, you have enough, and you have tons of income during this. Like by the time you age up, we're already at like 800 or so resources in total. You obviously need to split them out a bit more from this, but you'll have like 800 resources in total by the time you finish aging up, and it's very nice for those heavy focus on raiding or like heavy timing attack builds. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little build order guide for Oranos. If you did, or if you learned something, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!